the last piece, of course, we always want to end on a bit of a fun or crazy one. And everything we've talked about is all sort of based on this assumption that AI is this benevolent helper that is always there. But what if it's not? And we talked last week at our closing one that the Claude's or Anthropic's most recent release actually attempted to blackmail their engineers to avoid
Right.
being shut off based on this stuff. And we may understand now why AI is a little unruly, and AI may not be the best, compliant employee that we think it is. And that's because, at least according to Sergey Brin, the answer to getting AI to do your bidding is to threaten it with physical violence.
Yes.
So you want to explain what I'm talking about?
Well, we've talked about how large language models reflect the corpus of knowledge that exists, the language that we use in aggregate, and can imitate human behavior because it is imitating human literature and human diaries and everything that's online that ended up being public knowledge and ended up being put into these models. But Sergey Brin actually claims that AI models will do a better job if you threaten them. And I find that fascinating because we've seen a lot of discussion actually saying if you're polite to models, they will give you better information. Because that's also a human trait that people respect kindness and answer kindness with kindness. But apparently, there's a separate road you can go where you can be extremely violent and threatening to models, and they will also take that quite seriously and provide better results. So I guess you now have another route to take as you're using your AI. You can either be the dictator or you can be the benevolent savior and see which way helps you out more.
Well, so this is from he was speaking on stage with a bunch of other AI stalwarts at an event called All In Live from Miami, and he said this in all sincerity, like he was like being totally straight up that they're
We'll put
finding
the
that if you,
recording in, yes,
yeah,
so you can hear it.
that you threaten them with physical. What is interesting is you brought up the other side of this of being polite, and Altman just the other day, I mean, it was like a week or two ago, was talking about how being polite was costing them a fortune because of all the extra tokens for people saying please and thank
He also said it was money well spent.
So I found it utterly. I mean, I can't help myself. To your point, I'm always polite. I always not, and I honestly find myself sometimes going, "Why am I saying please? Why am I saying thank you?" It's an AI model. But I can't help myself. I've never done it because I'm trying to get a better result. It just for me it becomes anthropomorphic. I can never say that word, anthropomorphic.
Anthropomorphize, yeah.
Where I just feel like I'm talking with somebody, and I'm in natural conversation. I'm always polite, and so that's what I'm doing. But the idea of threatening it with violence just would have never crossed my mind. And the fact that I mean, I think your comment when you said this is now we know why. This explains everything you need to know about Google. And I think there is something about that, like this ethos about like why is this a top of mind thing that you would even think about?
Why
But
is that the direction your brain went in? Like, I guess
exactly.
that's what makes Sergey Brin a billionaire and, me a guy who reads a lot of books.
Well, there we go. I guess we'll see how it goes. I hope that is not the path to better performance because that creates a much less pleasant world for us. But I guess we'll see where this lands.
Yeah, I am hoping there's another way. So